Okay guys, it's time to start our corrugated rib. To do this, make sure all of your stitches are untwisted and that your needles are in a square shape. Then, take one of your other needles and go up in your first stitch on your left hand needle. Then, taking both your working yarn and your tail, knit one stitch. After that, we need to get our white yarn involved. So take some of it out, and then purl the next stitch, go down in it as to purl, and then take your white yarn and wrap it around your needle. And then purl that stitch with the white yarn. Take all of your white yarn and put it in the back of your work. Then we need to take our black yarn, and the way that I like to knit Fair Isle is to hold my black yarn in a continental knitting way. What this means is that I can now knit and purl both colors without having to twist them on the back. If I could actually knit it. And then we'll take the white yarn, leaving the white tail, and purl the next stitch. Knit one black, purl one white.
In this town, don't we love it now? Everybody's waiting for the next surprise.
Found that golden egg hiding in the trash can. Something's waiting there to pounce, and how you scream!
This is Halloween.
Red and black.
And slimy green. Aren't you scared?
Well, that's just fine. Say it once, say it twice. Take a chance and roll the dice. Ride with the moon in the dead of night.
Now then, you're going to continue in this way for every single needle all the way around until the pattern tells you to stop, which should be about 10, 11, 12 rows, depending upon how long you want your cuff. I think I did mine on my original glove. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I did 12 on my original Jack Skellington glove. Now granted, I am making the left hand mitt, which means Jack will be here instead of on this side, and he'll be looking that way. But the cuff until the thumb will be the same. So I'll be back when I've finished my corrugated rib and we can get started on the Fair Isle of the mitten. We're at the point in our mittens when it's time to start following the pattern chart to get our design onto our mittens. This is the right-handed mitten with Jack looking right, and this is the left-handed mitten with Jack looking left. Since I am knitting the left-handed mitten, I will be going off of this chart. You will start in the bottom right corner and go left to read your chart to make your pattern appear as it is on the chart. Now for every black box, you will knit one black stitch, and for every white box, you will knit one white stitch. If you go over 5 stitches, such as on Jack's face, if you go over 5 stitches in a repeat, then you have to wrap your yarn on the back of your work so as your floats are not so big as to fit a finger through. The checkerboard is probably the easiest part of this, since it only requires you to knit one white and one black, with not too long of a float in the back. To get started on this, there's only one row of black, so you don't have to carry your stitches in the back. Now, you also have to increase one stitch at every end of the row, and I will be back with you to show you how to do that. Okay, here we are back with our mittens, and I've completed the cuff of knitting 12 rows of corrugated rib. And now we're going to not work with the white yarn and knit 1 row of black and increase 1 stitch at the end of each row. So we'll just knit across. And then to increase a stitch, there's a little bar in between the stitches, and you just want to go underneath the bar, wrap your yarn around, and pull that through to increase 1 stitch. Moving on to the next needle, knit across, and then on the last stitch, lift up the bar, wrap it around, and pull it through. Do this for every needle until you have 15 stitches on each needle so that you have 60 stitches total. I'll be back with you when I finish this. Okay, now that we've completed the 1 basic black row of this work, we need to go on to our knit 1 black, knit 1 white of our pattern. To do this, I like to take my black and start with the first stitch so that I can get it a really tight stitch, and knit 1, and then swap the black to your left hand so that you can hold it. Wrap it around, and then knit 1 white using your basic method. Then you can knit continentally, knit 1 black, knit 1 white, knit 1 black, and then knit 1 white. It's very fast once you get the hang of it. And this will also ensure that you have a fairly even tension with your Fair Isle design. So you'll knit this entire row, knit 1 black, knit 1 white, and I'll be back with you for the next row. Okay, after completing our first solid black row and our first black and white row, we have another black row. So again, just take the black yarn and knit 1 row all the way around, making sure not to work in your white yarn. Just knit normally. I'll be back after I've done this.